Today we are going to build and install the cockpit. So go to the instructions. They're fairly basic, two parts, part 26 and 27. The previous video we went through the construction of the grating, and I'm not going to really spend any time on this again. So we take part 26, and the first thing we do is clean up the inside circle to make sure we have a nice, perfect internal circumference. To do this, you'll use whatever sanding jigs you've made up. You're just trying to get a perfect circle. Then you take a pencil, mark on the grating so that you get a perfect fit, and then take that piece and either put it on the saw. I prefer to put it on the sander. Many adjustments, many trial fits, and just to remember to line up the grid of the grating with that of the boat. Using a protractor, I then mark the outside circle and do the same thing on the sander to get a nice clean outside circle. And then once that's done, we're ready to start with part 27. We've taken part 27, which is in pretty good shape, and we've made a second piece from a piece of birch. We're now going to soak them and then heat them and bend them around part number 26. It's time to use my very sophisticated bending machine, my wife's coffee pot. Just have to make sure she's not anywhere around. You also should find a glass, in this case a demi-tasse cup, to hold the shape, and a blow dryer to dry it once you've got the piece around the cup. And there you have almost a perfect shape. It doesn't really get much better than that. You do need to keep it clamped in place until you're ready to stick. You're going to struggle when you try to stick the walls of the cockpit to the base. As a result, I tend to use PVA glue, which gives me a greater working time. Once that's done, you need to make out whatever adjustment you need to fit the cockpit into the model. So I establish a line using the existing hole and then place the part and align it as best I can, and then take a pencil and re-establish that line. That way you will get a best fit. Once I'm satisfied, I use a sanding wheel to take the bulk of the wood off, and then go to a hand sanding tool. It's a jig off the spiral sander to do the final adjustment, taking a little bit off each time, doing lots of trial fits, because you really do want a nice clean fit of the cockpit into the deck, because there's no molding between the cockpit wall and the deck itself. And then of course you need to just make sure you've got the height correct. Once all of that is done and you have a nice tight fit, you can glue everything up using PVA glue, which again gives you lots of working time. Just before you stick, you need to go back and look at the deck area around where the cockpit is and clean up any imperfections that you might have, because this is the last time you can easily access this area. Once it's stuck inside, it's very difficult to sand. The two sister ships ready to start the defense of the America's Cup.